So next time what I do, let me do something more. So I will start with the names now. So यहीं पे करते हैं, why not do but I'm just scared of, it should not give me any error. So let me just try that. In the G column, I am there in the G column. So let me write some names of the people, and let me write, and then I'm going to write some numbers for these people. So I have uh, Jill, I have Emma, and I have Harley. Right. So let me write very simple words over here, and I have, these are the people who are getting some numbers. Some marks are there. So I write randomly these numbers for these people. So I write this, and I write like this. Okay. So now let me repeat this particular task for particular data, not the task, particular data, maybe here and here. And let me change some numbers over here so that we can make out some difference. Let me change some number here as well, and let me do some change over here, right? So let me try to do something now. My rough data is ready with me, and I'm going to work with the names and with the numbers somehow. So starting with the relative reference, first of all, I will simply put my cursor at G1, which I want to be taken as a relative reference. So I go to macros. I say use relative reference first. So when I click on that, you will see that that particular, that bar has become a bit yellow or orange in color. This particular, change in color will be more clear when you use the other option, which I'll just tell you after this. So now I say record macro, and now I will just say uh, class a list, and then I say okay. And now I'm going to make some changes over here. Let me just work with the simpler things to start with. So I say sum, and I make it bold, and then I calculate. I say h7 minus 2. This will give me this, and I want to bold this as well. And I will say that change the color, right? Now I'm done with my task, and I go back to the relative point from where I started, that was G1, and I go back to the view again, and I say use relative reference again, and after that I'll say stop recording. I'm done with that task, and now I go back to this column, which is K, and I'm going to run the macro which I have just stored by viewing the macro, and I say view, in view option I go to macro, and then I say class list which I've just created, and I say run, and this will do me the same things which I've done with this particular GNH column, right? So you just see that whatever functions, whatever activities I've done with the GNH column, it will do the same activities with K and L column also. Let me do one more with the third column which I have made. So over here I put my cursor over here, that is a name, and I say view macro. In view macro, I'm going to run this macro which I've just formed, and I say run, and you will see that the same changes will be done for that column also. Now if I was doing that in the earlier case with the absolute reference, certainly this change in the K and L column or Q and P column will not happen. The only change that will happen will be the change in the original column, which is G and H, as per the absolute reference. But in the relative reference, it will allow us to use the relative reference to give the relative reference of the cell that I want to use in the multiple cells across my sheet. And certainly that will be used when I want to repeat my task. I don't want to write. See, please remember one thing. I could have easily done very easily by highlighting the cells, adding some, manually also. But in this case, since the data is very less, that may not seem to be very tedious. But when you have a huge data with you of around 1,000 students with so many multiple classes, certainly making result analysis of that whole school will not be a very easy task. So there, whenever you have more rows, more columns with more data, this will certainly come as a handy tool to work with the same function across the columns in your worksheet, right? So that was all for the relative reference. One thing more I want to tell you. See, you remember when I was working on the macros case, I did tell you that when you're working with the older version of Excel, the macro option will not appear on its own. It may not. You may have to enable the macro option by going to the Excel options. So there are two ways, I just learned. So I wanted to share that with the people. So in the older versions, especially for the older versions, to get it. So if you see on my Excel screen, I got this developer option through that route only. So how I did that? You go to the home command. In the home command, you go to the Excel option. So this is especially I'm repeating it. This is especially for those people who are having the older version of Excel. So you go to the Excel options in the home command. In the in this, you go to the customize. No, you go to the advanced category. In the advanced category, you will actually see that there was one option of developer. Just check if I have that. Wait a minute, because when I did that, it actually showed me, and no, you have to go to customize or no advanced. So let me find my option which I have clicked for getting the dynamic option tool. Let me see where it is coming, and then I can tell you how I got that. If I go to this option, no, it was there only. So in the latest versions, the developer option will come automatically. But if it is not there, you can just enable that. Just developer word will appear in this particular, customize option. So just have to drag that customize developer option from this box to this box, and then say OK. So when you say OK, the developer tag will come in the main options. Like in my case, it has come. So I'm just trying to show you how it has come. So when I went there, wait, yes, so I got this. Yes. So if you go to the main home option, which is popular, in the older version, it is the third option appearing on the screen. So it is a third option appearing on the screen, which was actually unticked before. So it says that show developer tab in the ribbon command. So when I clicked on that, the developer option will appear on that screen. Otherwise, in the older options, it will not appear on its own. So I know that you guys will not be needing it because you guys have the latest versions. But just in case, if you have the older version, you can enable this developer option by going to the Excel options. And in the very first option of the main popular option, you will have this third option appearing in the screen. So first is show mini toolbar, second is enable live preview, and third was show developer tab. So earlier in my case, it was unclicked. So when I clicked on that, it is now showing me. And you can actually see it is coming after the view command. So when you go to the developer option, that option you can also use for the macros. Just in case, if you don't know. So when you click on the developer option, you will have these new commands appearing over here. And the commands are Visual Basic macros, which is same as we were getting in the earlier case. So whatever macros we have made over here, cat, class list, pet, they're all appearing over here. I can very easily delete that just for the reference, but I will not because I want to use it for the other topic which I'm going to do today. So I can also say cancel, and I can use record macro again, which is the same option as I was getting in the earlier case. I can have use relative reference and macro security, and I have many more buttons which we are going to use now. So we have insert option, design mode, properties, view code, run dialog, and so on. So in the developer option, I believe you will have more options that you can work with in case of macros or in case of the other options that we're going to work on the Excel command. All right. So this thing I wanted to tell